All right. Hey, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings toward Joachim out there, who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And two brothers back again from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and as always, we got the beloved brother Taza Pa, and the Wadi Hawba Shema Shah for the opportunity to come forth and bring forth this news. As we would know it as prophecy, man. Which is the most important thing to be paying attention to in the last days, which really throughout history, that's the most important thing. But especially in these last days, in the time that what the prophets of old wrote, it was said to be fulfilled in our time. But before we hop into it, other times apart, you got it if you have anything.
No, it's just a blessing to be back, man. Another Thursday, get into this news. Shalom again to everybody. Man, yeah, we got a lot of info. Let's just dig into it.
And so all the links and articles, everything should already be in the description box. Let's see. I think I beat y'all to it today. Nobody had to ask. Yep, they already in there. They already in there. So we're gonna hop straight into it. So the first one, we're gonna be quick with the first two because it's not that we gotta really talk about it, because one, Yahweh Shai said it, and it's like every week is a new earthquake somewhere in the world, or not just a earthquake, multiple somewhere in the world. So you have end time headlines put out 5 days ago. Earthquake in East Tennessee. It says East Tennessee rocked by a 4.1 magnitude earthquake. And that's in the description box. And also you had yesterday, May 14th, from end time headlines as well. It says powerful 6.3 quake strikes Crete, Greece, and felt in central Israel. So you got anything on that? Or I'll probably get that precept real quick.
Okay, Con.
It's Matthew chapter.
Go ahead, brother.
So like in Matthew 24:7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." Man, hold on, let me see. And remember, the Lord said the disciples asked them what was going to be the signs of his coming and the end of the world. And he says, verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places." So that's one thing we're witnessing. Now that was it on that. That was it on that.
Con.
So there's this next part of it. You got it?
No, I didn't say nothing. You good?
Okay, it's like it. It says this. So this next part, it says Burkina Faso, which I believe we talked about this in before. And I think, again, I don't know if it was me and you or it was me and their brother Zainal at the time. But we went into
it had to been. Yeah, it had to been. What's the date on that?
September. You talking about with the electronic passport?
Yeah, the article itself.
Yeah, September 24th. I mean September 2024.
2024. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it says it did it Tuesday, September 3rd in the capital of Burkina Faso. And it was put out September 4th, September 24th. But we'll hop into it. And so, got a little information on Burkina Faso. It says from an AI overview, and we'll go into the point while we even bringing them up again. It says Burkina Faso is a landlocked country located in West Africa. And remember that too, because we'll show a map here in a few. And according to prophecy, where did our people flee? And according to history, where did the majority of the Israelites, what were we taking from? The west coast of Africa. It says it's a landlocked country located in West Africa is officially called the People's Republic of Burkina Faso, and its name translates to the land of the upright people. The country is situated south of the Sahara Desert between the Gulf of Guyana and the loop of the Niger River. It borders 6 countries: Mali, Niger, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, right?
Gone. Know what they say, landlocked. Right. You got it.
Now, and I just read this and you got it. It says, so this the ruler of it, or the president. It says Ibrahim Traore. If I ain't saying it right, but you got it on the top of the I'll go ahead and put that map up too.
Yeah, Traore. Right. So let's get into open up here with a scripture. All right.
And I got one too. And I got that video we could play too. That Kim Iverson video we could play too. It says, "Why the West wants the African leader dead."
Con, you got yours? You got your pieces?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead.
Habakkuk 2. Yeah, all right. Bring that one out.
Con, Habakkuk 2. And I'm gonna read this one down at least to probably, well, we'll see. It says Habakkuk 2:1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." Again, the prophets of old, they wrote the visions. You know, the Lord got the prophets here today, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, whether a person believe it or not, you know, making it easy to be understood. And now the message is spreading. And it says, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but right. At the end it shall speak." You got it?
Yeah, that's right, and not lie. At the end it shall speak and not lie. So the vision, all right, which is in reference to prophecy. And we know from Revelation 19:10 that, matter of fact, let me read it right quick. This Revelation chapter 19. This is what it's all about. All right, verse 10. And it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." All right. So we deal in the testimony of Yahushua, which you got all these bug-eyed Christians come up who don't know what's going on, claim that we don't claim a savior. Basically, we just out on the street screaming and yelling with no rhyme or reason, no coherency or any of that. We just out of our gorge, out on the streets. But if you would actually pay attention, which you can't because the Most High took their spirit from you to pay attention, pursuing the Isaiah 6:9, then you would know we're the most thorough with these scriptures in dealing with prophecy. You ain't gonna find no other group, including Hebrew Israelites, that deal with prophecy on the level of Great Millstone. All right, Great Millstone is where the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is dealing, is working. Okay, so and that's what we're supposed to be dealing with, the testimony of Yahushua. So I told the brother, I said, man, we got to cover this because it touches on so many prophecies. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just thinking, I'm sitting here trying to see where I want to go first. There's so many prophecies that I could touch on dealing with this situation, because what it signifies overall is that this man is cooked. Talking about Esau, Edom, he's done. He's out. No country could have pulled this off just 5 years ago. They've been assassinating leaders up to the previous leader of Burkina Faso, before Traore. They still taking out leaders, you know? But I'm saying that this, what he's doing, is significant. All right, it signifies the fall of Esau Edom, the last leg of his rulership, the feet and the toes. He's going up against the feet and the toes. And that can't be ignored. This man is standing 10 toes down against the 10 toes of Nebuchadnezzar's image. The feet and the toes of iron and miry clay. Because who subjugated them? France, the French. Who are they? Esau Edom, them French Edomites. All right, had them in subjection for years. What is France? One of the 10 toes. And that's who he's going to ultimately have to deal with, is NATO and the beast. Now, when you go into what happened, matter of fact, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you play the clip. The last clip that I posted. You don't have to play it now. We'll get into it later. I'm going to play it at 11.5 minutes.
The Farrakhan one?
Yeah, you got that?
Yeah, I could pull it up.
Well, I mean, I don't need it right now, but yeah, because he spoke on that, and it's real. Like, NATO basically went up against Gaddafi for the same exact thing, and he's, meaning Ibrahim Traore, he's speaking a lot of the same rhetoric that Gaddafi was speaking. I don't know if he was inspired by Gaddafi. I believe he was, but I'm not sure. But to get back to the scripture, all right, it says, all right, well, I'm good in Revelation 19:10. So it's all about the prophecy. And so that's why I was telling the brother, I've been doing little videos here and there, but we need to just touch on it, at least, because this is huge in my opinion, because this could very well set off a chain of events that's going to bring about, the end and demise of Esau. But you got it,
And not even that, when people see, little nations like Burkina Faso rise up, then they'll get more confidence, and then they'll have more of a, Joel 3. Weak say they strong, but and two, I know
you're it's already happening though. Yep. Nigeria standing up, Senegal, Ghana. I believe Ghana, there's a few other countries in that same area. But what the brother is showing on the map right quick, all right, if you could blow it up, because what I typed in was Fort Judah in Africa, and so it pointed to where the little arrow is, all right? And what that is known as, right where that arrow is, right next to the Gold Coast, is the Slave Coast. Now, I wonder why it got that name, all right? So that had to be where Fort Judah was, but all of that area from Nigeria all the way to the western coast was called, on older maps, you'll see Negro land go all the way across there. Negro land. So that's where we settled coming out 70 AD, coming out of Rome. Eventually we settled they call that Negro land after who? The Negroes. Us, not Ham, but the Negroes. It's a difference. And Ham knows it's a difference. But it went from Negro land to Nigeria, and then after the late 1800s, when Esau began to colonize heavily in Africa, they busted it up into all them little countries. Now you got the Ivory Coast. That was Leopold of Belgium. The Ivory Coast, the Gold Coast, just like they came over here and say, oh, this is the port of riches.
Right.
Yeah, he did the same thing. Ivory Coast, Gold Coast, Slave Coast, and they all got a piece, them 10 toes. They all got a piece. When you go back and look at the Berlin Conference of 1884 and was the Act of Berlin, 1884, they sat down and carved up Africa and decided who would get what. All right. And so I guess the U.S. got the slave coast because they brought our black asses over here to the West. But yeah, brother, what you had?
Now
Well, we still in Habakkuk.
Yeah, because that's prophecy going into everything, you know, Lord.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We got to get into it.
God. But go ahead. And you know what's so cold? You know, and if this is, which we believe it is, we hear this man talk, Ham ain't coming like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, that ain't Ham.
Hey, other times in the text, I had said, man, that's definitely Jake. You was like, a damn sure ain't Ham.
Damn sure ain't Ham, brother.
But how he coming, man? But you know, if this is Jake, Judah, the tribe of Judah, specific, you know, the scriptures say the laws go raise up the tribe of Judah first. Now, of course, we know that was mainly here in America that started with, you know, with the truth, you know. But man, look, the Lord have Judah rising up as we see it now. But not just that, but now this leader from Burkina Faso, he got in cool with Putin. He getting in cool with Putin.
Which was a smart move, which was his only move. Because, again, he's standing against the 10 toes. Mm-hmm. So who else better to help him defend? Because, like, that's a little landlocked country. But, yeah, that was smart. But then this is where he's going to get in trouble. Well, we ain't going to be here long enough, but Putin and them Russians are Edomites too. You see? And with him being Islam, he don't have the benefit of prophecy. And that's what we got the insight. All right. This is where we shine because we understand prophecy. You know, so that's a smart move, but understanding if he could have, you know, was Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy, which that's what I'm hoping he understand that these are Edomites too. Use them, but don't, you know, try to think that's the end all be all, that they really got your best interest and they got your back. Yeah, they got your back long as you, that's any Edomite. It's quid pro quo. Quid pro quo with Esau, which is Latin for how it go, something for something, basically. You do for me, I do for you.
I got you right here.
Yeah, quid pro quo. It's a law term. So that's Esau. He's not gonna do shit for you if you ain't doing or have something to offer him. But yeah, that was his best move to get with Putin. But you could read it out.
Habakkuk 2 and 3, and you know, going into this chapter, remember, because Habakkuk is what, three chapters, and the first chapter, Habakkuk was complaining to the Lord, like, look, man, all this wickedness going on within Israel, you know, judge him, judge him, Lord. He was against his own people. So the Lord said, all right, I'm gonna judge him, and this is how I'm gonna judge him. I'm gonna send the Babylonians against him. Then Habakkuk was like, when you read the prophets, but he was like, well, I asked you to judge him, but not like that. And he was like, so how long are you gonna let this go? And you just gonna let them kill us? So Habakkuk was like, look, I want to see what he gonna say. And this the Lord giving this response. He gonna tell Habakkuk when he go end it, when wickedness go be done with, when he go allow it to stop. Now this can't be talking about the ancient Babylon, because when you go into this, it's going into that great city that's gonna get exposed in the end. the proud, right? And then in Habakkuk 3, it goes into Yahushua on the chariots. So this is a part of end time prophecy. All these nations rising up against Esau, man. What is saying Obadiah 1? If a brother want to put that in the chat, Baba Kashar, how it says he was going to be despised amongst the nations. But Habakkuk 2 and 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. And look, this the response. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, which they'll say a little bit of that in these videos. It says he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. You want to speak on that, Tazapa?
All people, right. So he trying to get this one world order solidified and galvanized, but he's meeting resistance. That's Job the 20th chapter says, when he is about to fill his belly, he shall be in straits. If we get the chance, we'll get into that. Well, what's the other? It's a few scriptures that tell you that he was going back to Daniel 2. It said that they shall not cleave to one another. That's the whole mystery behind the iron and the miry clay. That it don't stick, it doesn't mesh. And so this is, again, fulfilling prophecy. And I wanted to read this to answer the question that I brought up about, I made the comment that they couldn't have did this, Now I said it even 5 years ago, but definitely not before 1969. Okay, and that's due to they more than likely are Israelites. All right, so I want to go to Lamentation 4 and 21, which says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, meaning the cup of the Most High's fury and his indignation, which is the cup of judgment. He's getting that cup. Right now, we at the part where the bartender slide the cup down the bar to him. He slide. We at that part, so he got it in his hand now. He reluctant to drink it, but it's going to be forced down his throat. So the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. All right. And here's the point, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Now there may have been better men before Ibrahim that came up, but he just happened to be the right man at the right time, because the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. And I'm just reading it through the spirit. But it's saying it was going to come a time where the curses would begin to lift off of us and begin to transfer to the Edomites, which are the so-called white people. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing the transition. We're in the transition. We're watching it. Jake is all over the world. We say it in every lesson, or pretty much that almost every lesson. And we've been scattered to the four corners. We look like the other nations. And reading his spirit, the spirit of the people, ain't rising up. Man, it's beautiful to see.
That's it.
And even, I love to see anybody go at this goddamn devil. But I just so happen to believe them are people. So it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. Oh, and the apostles already said all of that is mostly Jake anyway. Ghana, all them coasts, So it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And this is what we're seeing in real time. All right. You got it,
That's right. I'm gonna be real quick with this Habakkuk 2, and we'll go ahead and play these videos. Just to, and just for the think about it. Hey, this is what we said, Habakkuk 2 and verse 5 again. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 6 in the NLT. But soon, so we're at the point at that, but soon their captives, all these people who Esau bombed, all these people who Esau had in, slavery through debt, with the oil and a dollar and all these different things.
Yep. I bought yacht. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, but soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you thieves? And that's what people said.
Yeah.
The video you sent, that's the video you sent. And I was about to say Jake, but he gotta be, he in the spirit of Jake, but that's the spirit he was coming in. It says, but soon it says they will say, what sorrow awaits you thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You become rich by extortion. But how much longer can this go on? And suddenly your debtors will take action. That's what we're saying. And they will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. And it's playing out. Nobody messing with America right now. Even its allies, according to Habakkuk 2. I mean, not Habakkuk 2. Obadiah, the first chapter, it says how even their allies in the NLT, even their allies will set traps for them and turn away from them. You said something?
No, I was saying, yep.
And I ended here in a few. It says, because you have plundered, verse 8, because you have plundered many nations, now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murder throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. What sorrow awaits you who build big houses with money you gained dishonestly? That's America. You believe your wealth will buy your security, putting your family's nest beyond the reach of danger. And they ain't gonna escape, man. That's the spirit these nations coming in. Why? Because it's according to prophecy.
Yes, sir. That's right.
But I'll go ahead and play this video if you ain't had nothing else.
No, you good.
So this is a quick little vid from Kim Iverson. And this was put out 8 days ago. It says, why the West wants this African leader dead. Now, again, he may be Jake, but look at the spirit he coming in. And at any time, Elder Tyler Power, let me know when you got something, I'll stop it.
Right.
All right, let's talk about Ibrahim Traoré and why the West is so desperate to get rid of him. According to Western officials, Traoré is a gold-thieving warlord clinging to power in Burkina Faso, a Western African nation they claim he's running into the ground. Well, just last month, U.S. General Michael Langley, let me show you his picture here, the commander for the U.S. African Command, he testified before Congress claiming Traoré is stealing gold and using it to protect himself and his regime, as if using the national bank account for protection and the military is somehow criminal when our own government just upped the defense budget to $8 trillion. But anyway, here's the part they leave out. Ibrahim Traoré is not a dictator. He's a 37-year-old military captain who came to power in 2022, not through some elite Western-funded election, but by leading a popular military coup backed by everyday people in his country. Why? Well, because the previous government had completely failed to defend the country against jihadist terror groups who, by the way, largely were formed after the violent U.S.-backed overthrow of Gaddafi. Not only that, but the leaders were actually laundering money for self-enrichment on the side, which is no surprise. So the people of Burkina Faso grew tired of being poor in one of the most resource-rich regions on earth. They were tired of French and American influence, tired of so-called leaders who actually took orders from Paris and Washington. And Traoré, a young, unapologetically African and deeply nationalist man, became a symbol of resistance because of it. And what the West can't stand is this.
Those imperialists consider that we belong to them, and our wealth also belongs to them. They think that they are the ones who must continue to tell us what is good for our states. Africa, our continent.
Let me slow it down a bit.
Paris and Washington. And Traoré, a young, unapologetically African and deeply nationalist man, became a symbol of resistance because of it. And what the West can't stand is this.
Those imperialists consider that we belong to them, and our wealth also belongs to them. They think that they are the ones who must continue to tell us what is good for our states. Africa, our continent that suffered so much because of the imperialists. This era is gone forever. Our resources will remain for us and our populations.
Yeah. These are the words of a man who knows exactly what's at stake. Now, since taking power,
You guys know?
No, you good.
Traoré has cut military ties with France. He's expelled French troops and demanded control over his country's gold, land, and future. He's rebuilt roads, made education free, and never raised his own salary in the process. He has kept his captain's salary from the military. He's also partnered with China and Russia. And for that, the empire has tried to destroy him. He's already survived multiple assassination attempts.
Yeah, that he partnered with China and Russia.
And several coup plots to remove him. And
that's a part of
BRICS.
CQ38 as well.
Yeah. Let me see.
The smear campaigns are nonstop. Now, Western media calls him erratic, paranoid, even dangerous, but why wouldn't you be when you're the African David standing up to the old colonial Goliath? And
have you ever felt God calling you to real estate investing to fund his kingdom?
Oh, look at this nigga.
Media won't show you. Across Africa and around the world, millions upon millions of people of African descent are cheering him on, from Paris to Harlem to Port-au-Prince. There have been mass rallies in solidarity with him, and chants of colonizers get out, France get out. This has been ringing through the streets. Now, this is because for the first time in decades, someone is actually saying out loud what so many African leaders have whispered in private, and that is that the age of Western domination is over.
Ooh.
Well, joining us tonight is Theo Wilson.
Habakkuk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, what she say? Colonizer, get out. That's a taunting proverb.
Man.
You know? Yeah, Habakkuk went into that. So, right, this is prophecy being fulfilled. Yeah, she said, you know, we used to say Yankee go home, but yeah, they saying colonizer get out.
Man, look, yep, spot on.
What you got right there?
No, I'll read it for you. So, like, I didn't mean to cut off what you were saying.
No, I was through.
Kind of this Habakkuk 2 again in 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and all of these are the nations that Esau wreaked havoc on, man. So it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long to him that laid of himself with thick clay? Man, you got it.
Thick clay. I did a lesson on that earlier today. Yeah. So yeah, but she just said it. I didn't have this video, but yeah, she said it outright. But you got it.
I'll go back and play a little bit more.
Colonizers get out, France get out. This has been ringing through the streets. Now, this is because for the first time in decades, someone is actually saying out loud what so many African leaders have whispered in private.
You know, that country,
and that is at the age
they was actually saying, kill the white people. That's them people that came over here, them South Africa, the Afrikaners. You know, they can't say it like everybody else. They got to be Afrikaners. And then once they name something, they lay claim to it. You got to watch these goddamn Edomites. Because, yeah, y'all in South Africa. You're in somewhere you wasn't invited. And that's why they got to tweak the name and say little different shit. It's witchcraft. It's sorcery. Oh, the Afrikaners. Trump saying, yeah, we're welcoming the Afrikaners, and because they're suffering genocide.
Right.
No, they in somebody else's land, and they want them out. You know, but yeah, brother, go ahead. But yeah, they was talking about kill the. You remember that? When they were saying kill them crackers.
Yeah, no, I remember.
The farmers. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. You got it.
No, that was it. You got it.
I'll play a little bit more.
Of Western domination is over. Well, joining us tonight is Theo Wilson. In fact, let me just show you this. You might know him. He is a journalist, filmmaker, slam poet, and activist. And until recently.
Right. So that's in the chat. And he got a little more. I don't know if you want to keep playing it, but I mean, that's the main part, you know?
No, that was good right there. Con,
I'll play this one that you had sent. Now, this from the brother Arrows of Indignation 144. Put up 7. Oh, look, that's
that's fire too.
Look, 144 views and 7 hours ago.
Man,
hey, call out It's fire. But it says Ibrahim, which is we know as Abraham. Even this his name is spiritual, man.
Yeah.
You know, exalted, which this is a version of exalted father. You know, Abram, but Abraham, a father of a multitude. You see how everybody gathered behind him. And again, if this is Jake, this could be Judah rising up first. You know, he just over there on that side doing it, you know. But it says Troar, president of Burkina Faso, has some words for Babylon. Check this out.
What do you say to those, especially in Washington, who continue to question the legitimacy of your current partnerships, particularly with Russia? And how do you intend to defend Burkina Faso's image on the international stage?
And I mind you, Jake, you know, the president of Burkina Faso, he just 37 years old?
Yeah, he's 37 now. Right. They staged that coup like the thing said 2022. He was 34, a young man, you know.
Yep.
But the youth, as I was saying in my lesson today, y'all carry that warrior energy. It's in y'all. That's why niggas gangbang. They don't have an outlet for that energy, you know. But right, that's where your warrior energy come from, the youth, the young men. You know, and that's what he speaks about. Teaching the youth, giving them the true history of their people, their culture. So yeah, they'll have a sense of pride in who they are and their identity on the, you know, in the scheme of the nations. They'll have an identity and be proud of their identity and where they come from, just like the scriptures did for us. When we learned we were Hebrew Israelites, it restored our identity, gave us a sense of pride in who we could literally, in truth, say, we go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It gives you a sense of being, you know, as opposed to, y'all just some niggas we brought over here to work for us. You know, y'all ain't had no history before this. No, that's Esau's history. He came out the caves. And we know about the Dukes of Edom. You know, they got a history. You know, but it's, you know, the Israelites have the richest history on the earth. But yeah, he speaks about reaching out and teaching the youth. And I believe it might be this video he spoke about expanding the consciousness of the people so that shit never happens again. I was like, damn, he even get philosophical. I was like, God damn, you know, this motherfucker, the military, and you look at him and shit, that's a nigga you don't even want to fuck with, just looking at him. You know, he's well spoken. You see, he's intelligent. And then shit, he get philosophical on your ass. It's like, yeah, you know, we rising up. This is who we are. That's what we do.
Right.
You know, we build kingdoms. So what he's doing, you know, in secularly, we're doing the same thing spiritually. We building our kingdom in the spirit through this truth. All right, by the marching orders of our lords, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Well, he's doing it, but he's doing it in, you know, in the world, in the flesh. But how else is this devil going to be taken down? But go ahead, brother.
Kind of, I play a little. I play it.
In Washington, who continue to question the legit. What do you say to those, especially in Washington, who continue to question the legitimacy of your current partnerships, particularly with Russia? And how do you intend to defend Burkina Faso's image on the international stage in the face of this kind of rhetoric?
In any case, we are free to establish relations with whomever we choose. That is what independence means. So on this matter, they can continue to think whatever they want. As for us, we will go wherever we want, as long as the partnership can, in any case, be mutually beneficial for both parties. Regarding those remarks, as you mentioned, we protested through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That was one thing. But I don't know what happened with that general. There is still a problem. And I would perhaps like him to admit his mistake if he was sent, and to understand that this was not the right mission. If he was misled, he should say so publicly or otherwise.
He's speaking to that nigga General Langley. I believe he was a general, the black guy you showed earlier from the U.S. And he called him straight up. He said, yeah, he lied. You know, he's a liar. And yeah, that nigga. So he's publicly shaming him. Yeah, that's who he's speaking about. I don't know if that was clear. So I just wanted to clear that up. That's who he's talking about. Is he a general? I know his last name is Langley.
Yeah, General Michael Langley becomes the Marine Corps' first black 4-star general.
Yep. But yeah, that was it.
That boy. That's what I
mean. Just as Greek as he want to be.
What's up, dude? Al Roker, is it?
Yeah, he look like Al after he lost that weight.
Man, that's General Langley. So that's who he talking to. That's who he talking to.
Otherwise, admit before the Senate that he was mistaken. Or also, if it was done with bad intentions, well, we will confront him as we should, because everything he said is a lie. And it's really shameful to see an adult lie, to see an adult, a general officer of a great army lie. This is very serious. First of all, he talked about Burkina's gold being used for what? For us, to protect ourselves and all that. First, it's Burkina's gold, it's not his gold. That's the first thing. What business is it of his? It's none of his business. It's Burkina's gold. It doesn't concern him. Second thing, he's lying. Because Burkina never had any gold reserves until we came. We were the ones who started setting aside gold in the treasury of Burkina Faso. Otherwise, there wasn't a single gram of gold reserves in Burkina. So that means he's a liar, again. And another thing, when he says that, we use it to protect ourselves and all that. We're free. If the people have decided that we should govern them, we have a duty to protect ourselves. So we are free. What business is it of his? And the part that hurt me the most, not because he's a general or because he's American or anything like that, but because he's black. And it really hurt. Dangerous. Even Libya, who destroyed Libya. Once again, they used a black man. In movies back in the day,
talking about
in
Obama.
America, black people.
Yeah, he's speaking about Obama. Because that's what that's a part of the reason Obama got put in office, to rape, rob, and pillage Africa. But yeah, brother, go ahead.
People always played the bad guy. We told ourselves, it's just in the movies. But why do black people have to keep playing the bad guy? And I think that if he heard this interview, he should look at himself in the mirror, feel ashamed, come out and say, well, I was given a false report. I regret it. He needs to say it publicly. If it was a false report, then it was made, because it's possible. It's possible that he was given a false report. it needs to be made right publicly.
But you had something else on that or the tussle, Paul?
No, brother, that was it. That was it.
And we'll hit this fairly quick. But even in this video, again, isn't the description box, but this Kim Iverson video, she was going in, her and his dude was going into a lot of good stuff that he doing for the people, but and also he taking sides with Russia, like you just said, and that's going to benefit him. And it also fulfills prophecy, everybody against America, man. So like you said, a lot can happen from this. But other than that, the last segment, it says the path to the MOTB, and why I got it in quotations because this something that Eldar Riala, him and Elder Raquel Kwam, they'll usually go into the algorithms, or the path to the MOTB updates, just following, the digital system coming, the economy, so on and so forth. So just I'm gonna play a few minutes of this video, and we can end it off here in a few. And also this video in the chat, check it out. It's some good info. We ain't gonna play the whole thing. Now, as you see on this video, he put it up yesterday. It says path from Remnant Save 144 Ba. It says path to the MOTB update. Natural disasters will increase. And seeing now Esau, he got in his mind everything set, and time ain't on his side. He got to move fast. So now, in his spirit, you got something?
No, I just agreeing.
So now in his spirit, so now that everything's set, now we got to force a situation to bring it forth. We got the laws on the books, and we just got to force something to bring it forth. So that's what we about to start seeing. And that's why, we want to put path to the MOTB, because these will be the things that bring forth that digital system. Many different chaotic events to change the world. People thought that CV 19 was something, but that was just a trial run. So we'll go ahead and play a couple of minutes of this, and some information that just came out on the MOTB, and that's pretty much it.
In the constellation, we've been seeing numerous amounts of blood moons, lunar and solar eclipses, and just different, signs in the sky. And these things are going to increase. But one of the things that's been utilized is these natural disasters as reasons for Esau to bring in more of his technology, more because they're saying because of climate change, these things are happening. Climate change. And we got to get these things under control. So that's why we got to get more energy efficient, more economical technology out here so that we don't destroy ourselves. And it's doing nothing but leading to higher levels of just digitizing everything and saying that that's that's the solution to the problem. When they artificially create a lot of these things, feeding fires and all types of stuff. Here in the book of Psalms 36:1, it says, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He have left off to be wise and to do good. Right? So they don't care about, the natural order of how the Most High set things up, because you need a lot of those forest fires. And, and then, like I said, they set some of those things up artificially and cause a natural disaster. Right? We're going to get some of that information too. It says, he deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. And that's why when we read in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, it talks about he causeth all. There's a causation. There's a systematic causation that Esau wants in order to swallow down everything that we read about in Job, the 20th chapter. This is his mindset. It's to frame deceit, to be mischievous. All right, so he can push forward his enterprise. Micah 2:1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. As we go through all this information, you find out that they be planning these things 10, 15, 20 years in advance, sometimes even longer. A lot of this stuff they talk about at the World Economic Forum, that's just now hitting the public, but they've been talking about it behind closed doors for 15, 20 years. Right? And they have the power to make these different corporations that run everything around the world get it done. We're going to talk a little bit about Starlink today, which is a satellite internet service that Elon Musk heads. Well, they're pushing people to take that umbrella system. Okay? Verse 2 says, they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even the man and his heritage. And we've seen it happen time and time again, especially when we look at what happened in Cali, the fires, and the Carolinas. They setting all this stuff up, man. All right, so I'm going to play this clip by Derek Bone. He's got this one lady, I can't remember her name. What's her name? Sonia Lewis. She deals with a lot of student loan stuff. But they were just basically just sitting, having a conversation. And she mentioned this about smart cities. And I was like, yeah, she's right. They are doing it.
This many apartments, this bedroom, they put the whole plan right there on the thing. Sometimes they put the picture of the rundown.
This is the season. I'm going to tell you this. You start hearing wild things like there's fires everywhere. There's this. Man, look at what they said about this, how they want to restart and create what's called smart cities. Just look that up. I don't want your podcast to get Yo, I'm so deep into my understanding. So when you see that these fires are happening, it's the same place they identified for there to be a smart city. All they had to do was clear the land. You see, and then when you say stuff like this, you're like, why are you talking?
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people starting to sound like the prophets. And I know, you know, we ain't the only ones that's hip to this info, but even like the delivery, you know, like, and you can tell when people just rehearsing what they heard, you know. But anyway, she might know. I'm not taking nothing from her, but you got it. So like it.
No, that's you good, bro.
Sorry, no. God bless the people, and I care about all that. I'm not saying none of this shit happened, but why are things happening? Why did the fire go so long? Because it's already a documented plan, and they always say, if you want to hide something, put it in the book.
Yeah.
Nobody read.
Like you said, these plans are already out there.
Yeah.
Nobody's.
I didn't know that about you. You learned a lot about me right there, aren't you?
I didn't know. I'm sitting there like, damn. One, she knows some shit, and two, I don't know some shit.
The reason I'm into this is because how do I deal with anxiety? How do I deal with not knowing? Education. I'm never going to be caught off guard about anything. Yeah. I'm going to be open.
You know, the main thing that we learn about is knowledge, wisdom, and scripture, and that's going to be the stability of our time and the strength of our salvation. But what she's saying about the smart cities is true. That's why I read that in Micah. They devised it upon their beds, and when it's light, they do it. And so this is what's happening. They went down and snagged up all of this acreage because they have different plans, and they've been rapidly run towards these type of plans. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is just me clicking.
I'm gonna jump ahead and we'll go to the next thing here in a few. But the point they're going into is that it's gonna be many other natural disasters that's coming on top of the fires, the floods, the hurricanes, the earthquakes that's been changing people's lives. But all this gonna be more to break down this current system. Oh, and we'll go to the article next to add on to this part. The path to the MOTB. They're talking about blackouts again. Blackouts back on the table for the summer. They said we already know people go use energy, and we here to tell you we ain't got it. That's what they telling you. And you know they just did a trial run, and with Europe, and Elder Ariella mentioned that here. But I'll go ahead and skip it.
I got right quick. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So just to go into what they're speaking on, all of this is pre-planned. All right, things that have been on the books going back to the 70s, 60s, and 50s. All right, that they're playing out right now. You know, and then we tell you about it, and y'all dismiss us as conspiracy theorists. You know, but you're getting ready to feel that everything in which we've been warning you about, you're going to feel it. All right. Because, yeah, I seen this trend. I've actually been looking for it ever since Joe Biden took office and froze these people out here in Texas back in 2021. I said, oh, yeah, this is what they're going to do. And I look for it in 22. Even in 2023, I said, well, they're gonna wait a while. So yeah, we could see it this year. But I've been waiting on this. Weather wars. Oh, we don't have the grid failed. All this. Yeah, we done seen it all. We done already seen it. They prepped us for this. It's called what is called like predictive programming. We live through the predictive programming of it. It's coming. Even with you mentioned the no, I don't think you mentioned the juice, but that wasn't even that was in preparation. They coming back with that. They coming back with more juice. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, brother, go ahead, man.
Hey, remember when that movie Leave the World Behind? Old boy said he knew the steps. He knew the steps to the whole downfall. And I forget what he said, but he pretty much said one of them was cut off communication. And that's when you had this weak Edomite right here. He said, "Oh my God, I'm nothing without my phone." That's how a lot of people go. Without their phone, without a breaking alert, a shade room posting it, the news. They ain't gonna know what's going on, what to do. Without you look, you can't call Uber Eats no more. Can't get in your car. Even if you do, you better hope you don't have a Tesla. But even if you do, you eventually go around out of gas. And even when you get there, you can have other people there running in there and they gonna have guns or whatever. See, that's the type of time that the Lord about to be on.
Man, come on, bro. Yeah. Man, it's gonna be chaotic. Come on, bro. Babylon gonna rip itself apart at the seams before, the missiles hit. But yeah, you good, brother.
Matter of fact, we'll now, hey, Baba Kashah, go watch this El Dariala video because he go play a little more.
It's happening faster than what people understand.
And pretty much this dude next going into how, just the radiation in the earth from what Esau are doing, trying to tap into the heavens and cell phones and all this. That's chiming in the people. You know how they say like electrolytes, that's turning people energy up. It's gonna get them sick. Diseases go come. Anger, all these type of things go eventually come. Man, I'm gonna play a little bit.
And you speaking on that, the 5G is supposed to create like a damn it, shit. Now I lost the word. Go ahead, it'll come back to me.
And check what this guy says.
It's actually what we see in the beginning.
And you're not going to own anything, and you're going to love it.
By 2030, the first phase of construction will cover 1,500 acres and house 50,000.
Now, this stuff seems far-fetched, but this is why they're already doing the automated logistics. They got the driverless trucks. They already got this stuff pretty much laid out. They just need a reason to put it down. Okay? They just need a reason to put it down. And everybody will have their chip so they can have access to all the stuff that's within the smart city. And you're not going to own anything, and you're going to love it. And so they're just going to systematically bring these things along. And it's happening faster than what people understand. So, they had the issue over with the blackout in Europe, right? And I was listening.
The blackout in Europe.
To this maybe like a week ago on Kim Iverson. And check what this guy says.
It's actually what we see in the beginning of the movie, The Core, which is about Earth's magnetic field failing. Now, the majority of that Hollywood film is just complete sci-fi nonsense. But what they show at that one point where there was a weak point that allowed that energy to come in and it took out power, it was burning things, people's pacemakers all stopped in that city at the exact same time. And so that was actually pretty accurate given the fact that it's a Hollywood sci-fi movie. And that, to a certain degree, is what just happened in Europe. When I heard their explanation about the atmospheric oscillation and the problem with the high voltage lines, I instantly ignored their explanation about there being extreme heat. First of all, because that's not possible to cause that kind of thing. And second of all, because it took 2 seconds to look and see there was no extreme heat anywhere in Europe. It was maybe half a degree above normal. And normal for Europe in April is just not that hot.
Right. So we're going to see a lot more of this type of stuff, man. They're going to be putting stuff into the atmosphere, making it irregularly hot in certain places. Right now, it's over 100 degrees here in Texas, and we're still in the middle of May. So, hey, you never know how the summer's going to be. But regardless of that, they're going to be pushing more of these quote-unquote natural disasters so they can push their agenda, so they can get people onboarded into these new MOTB systems. That's what they need.
And so I started looking at some of the data on what's happening up at the top of the sky. We actually have pretty sophisticated ways of measuring and monitoring how much of this electromagnetic energy is getting past that magnetic shield and actually interacting in the atmosphere. And you could see it coming straight down through the top layers and integrating into the atmosphere. Now, when this happens, it's never a direct line of sight kind of thing. It comes down and then it shoots out to a side somewhere. And it usually goes where the wind is going, which is not all that hard to understand, especially since water is pretty conductive. Water and electricity tend to attract. And in the wind flowing in a given direction, that's where all the water is flowing. They detect electric currents when there's water flowing underground. So you may have heard things like this, but it's the same basic idea. So over the North Atlantic, you can see this energy coming down through, and it was a pretty preposterous amount. And I take a look at this data fairly regularly. This was more than we're used to seeing when the sun actually causes one of those solar storms that lets us see the northern lights. That happened in May and October of last year. What happened yesterday morning was actually, to a significant degree, stronger than that, except the sun didn't do anything. It was a weak spot, a hole, a crack that opened up in Earth's magnetic field and let that energy actually come into the Earth. And I sat there and I watched it. It came down through and then it followed the wind.
And you know what the scripture says.
So we'll move on. You had anything on that other Tazapah?
No, that's interesting though.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It's a good watch. It's in the chat. I'll send it to you too. But so as Elder Ariala did that video yesterday, this dropped today, fresh off the presses. End Time Headlines, May 15th, 2025. It says regulator warns that much of the U.S. at heightened risk for summer power outages. Man, it says a large swath of the United States is facing a heightened risk of blackouts this summer. And when it's hot, people will be hot, hungry. Through it says a perennial
flaring.
That juice.
No, you good.
That 5G go activate that juice.
Con. Yep. You saw remote control your ass. Turn your anger up. Yeah.
Yep. It says, I read this real quick. It says, and mind you, these are the things that's going to lead to the MOTB coming. And as you see, as they talking about blackouts at the perfect time, Apple talking about, we got brain C-hips that's going to help you text on your phone, do stuff on your phone, which we seen this in movies. Like the other Tazapah just said, what's the word again?
What's that? What did I say?
How you pretty much show it before it comes forth.
Oh yeah, the shit. God damn it. Predictive programming.
Yeah, predictive programming. So we seeing it. So the light's gonna go out. Remember that little documentary that was passing around, the brotherhood about if the lights went off in America for just 3 days. Look how the people bugged out.
Right.
But I read a little bit. It says a large swath of the United States is facing a heightened risk of blackouts this summer, a perennial danger as electricity use soars and extreme weather test the nation's aging power grid, according to the regulatory authority that monitors the electricity system. The seasonal electricity forecast warns that regional power grids extending from the upper Midwest South through Texas, may lack the power needed to meet all customer needs in the event of prolonged periods of high temperatures. And it's already hot.
Yeah. Getting there.
And it goes on. It goes on. But so look for this to happen, and it would be wise not to say we preppers are storing up things or we ain't got faith, or he wouldn't get extra canned goods. No, I remember the Apostle Hall said this a long time ago. He said that's not now I'm paraphrasing, but his thing was that's not as if a man lacking faith. It's really a wise thing to do because we don't know.
Yeah, it's just using wisdom. Because really, because I thought about it years ago, it really shows faith. But I just kept it to myself. But it really shows faith because it shows you believe what the scriptures say. The Lord say a famine is coming. What did Joseph do? Hoard it.
Man, that's yep.
So he believed the vision. So if I'm reading a famine is coming, well, the wise thing to do would be prepare, not to put my faith in that, but my faith is in the word that this is coming, and I'm prepared because the Lord said it's coming.
That's right, man.
You know, that's how I looked at it, but you know. Well, you know, you're not wicked if you do, you're not wicked if you don't. It's like the Lord say, he gonna judge your heart. If your heart is in that shit, you know, that's gonna be to your detriment. But yeah, I ain't even worried about it. Me personally. The Lord has been taking care of me. I'm day for day right now. Shit. Why would the Lord stop in Jacob's trouble?
Okay.
I don't never know where my next meal coming from. I mean, I kind of do, but I really don't. So I've been day for day. So shit, I'm used to it. You know, you come over here about a day of food, maybe 2 days. But yeah, shit, the Lord, I ain't never went hungry. You know, I ain't never went hungry. And so shit, I don't look too in Jacob's trouble either.
That's right.
But yeah, brother, you got it.
So that's another thing that's going to lead to the path of the system being changed, and meaning all a multitude of things going to take place to break down this society. Now, on top of the lights going out, you know, on top of people about to bug out, people losing jobs, don't have jobs, hard times are here financially for everybody, and it's about to get hot, and the lights go off. Well, Lord willing, you know. But according to prophecy, the Lord said he will bring plagues on Egypt as before. One of the main plagues was darkness. It was darkness. And they've been saying for a long time, maybe an EMP. And that's what this dude was saying right here. In this video here, was like, what came down? It couldn't be from no EMP, man. But another thing, remember Trump been talking about getting troops on the street. Well, now this another event that could take place to lead to National Guard or the police. And you know what? Today I seen a Houston police truck, an armored truck. It looked like one of those trucks that they carry the cash in, but it was all black with Houston police. And I thought it was strange. And I looked up and they had like army gear. It was today or yesterday, but army, like the Houston army fatigue or gear or whatever. But the point is, remember what Trump signed? I forget what it was, man. I know Apostles Brothers talked about it a couple months ago, maybe a weeks ago. Went into that document saying Trump he gonna use the DOD at any time that the police, if they can't handle whatever they go through, you know, one of the things they could get military equipment sent to them for each department, and if not, then that's it. It said the military could come in and use deadly force.
Now, is this for the border or just in general?
Now that's in general.
Okay.
This something he signed. He ain't enacted yet, but he signed it off. It was like a DOD, you know. But I believe it started with the border though. That's why I started.
Right, they're using that. Right, right. Okay.
But real quick, this was put out yesterday. It says National Guard and police prepare for possible unrest with possibility of presidential pardon for Derek Chauvin. And it's the dude who put his knee on George Floyd's neck. And you know, they had all those protests because of it, which a good bit of it was set up, you know, George Soros and his people. But the point, a lot of people really was rioting for this. So how much more they could use this? Now it's getting hot, lights going out, all this about to happen now. People, what if Trump do it? People gonna riot on top of whatever Trump been doing. And people feel played, blacks, Hispanics feel played. How much more if they let this guy out, man? And now you could easy where they had a National Guard on the scene. But that was it on that.
Shit.
That's pretty much it anyway.
Damn it. You had a verse. I had something, it just slipped my mind. Salakia.
While you're looking for it, I'll mention this real quick. And again, all those things gonna lead to eventually, as you've seen it. I'm sure you already seen it, but this from shtfplan.com put out yesterday. It says brain computer interfaces, giant step toward the dystopian digital prison. And this also in the chat. I'm gonna throw it in. There's some good information, but Apple coming out with a chip that you can sync your mind and your phone with. Matter of fact, I read this. It says it would have your brain connected to the internet 24 hours a day. Be heaven or would it be hell? It says today a very large portion of the population is seemingly glued to their phones or their computers much of the time. But soon implantable brain-computer interfaces will allow those people to stay connected to their devices all the time. Apple has partnered with a shadowy tech company known as Synchron to develop a brain implant that allows users to operate digital devices by thinking. And then you got this video. This is a must watch. I'm going to throw it in the chat, but you got it on the Tazapah. That's it.
All right. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark is the, microchip, as the priest mentioned earlier, all right, that they want to either put in your head, as the article stated, or either in your right hand. And they might want to do both. They might hit you with both, the hand and the head, but this is what's coming. He's creating a system to where, as the Elder Ariala said, if you want to participate in the city and have the benefits and access to the things of the city, the key to the city, if you will, is you're gonna have to get a microchip. All right. And that's what he's doing. He's setting up infrastructure and all of that to where you're going to have a microchip to function. All right. And verse 17 says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right. In the Greek, 666 would be said as chi xi stigma. And stigma, where the term stigmata comes from, it actually links up with that word mark. All right. Because stigmata means to prick. Well, the mark, being the microchip, would be implanted by way of a syringe, all right, which is the palisade, which the mark is speaking about when you go into the actual etymon of mark, or which is going back to the Greek word karagma. And the root of karagma is karax. All right, karax is a palisade, or like a stake. The stake in this instance is the syringe, and that's how they implant that microchip in you. So the infrastructure is here. That's what the 5G and all of that is for. And they getting all these chips together, to get you linked in, and you'll be a part of the Internet of Bodies. All right, you will be a part of the internet. People will be able to dial you in on, it won't just be regular Joe Smoes, but the elite will be able to pull you up on the internet and watch you in real time, whatever the hell you're doing. The routers are cameras, You know, the days of conventional cameras are over. They can turn your Wi-Fi router into a camera, and it'll produce an image of your entire living room, maybe the house.
Yep.
It's through sonar, sound, and imaging. They can produce an image of everything in your house, let alone the TVs that you have. Cameras everywhere. And the 5G, like I said, they want to set up an artificial, like, firmament, if you will, to where they, you know, he is the prince of the power of the air. So he wants to double down on that and put you in an artificial atmosphere. And where, so you get these chips in your head, they're going to be broadcasting shit day in, day out. You're going to run crazy. They're going to run you crazy. Ads. Just imagine, you can't even enjoy YouTube no more. Just imagine you got that shit in your head. They already put a Black Mirror episode out on that. They're going to be running ads directly into your brain. Just at random. You making love to your woman. Try Magnum. Was it Trojans? Try Trojan Magnums. You know, and you with your woman getting it in. How about some KY lube? All that shit. That's what they plan on doing. You know, he can't. This is anybody that opts into this. You deserve what you get. But that was it. That was it. You had something?
Nah, that remind me of the Truman Show. How his wife, she was just advertising everything.
Oh right, yeah. Brought that up. What, that was last week or the week before?
God, yeah.
I need to go back and watch that, man. I ain't seen that since it came out.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in the chat if y'all never seen it. I don't know. I never seen it.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, but I think so. His wife, if y'all, you know, probably ain't see it yet, but he thought he was living a real life. Everything was fake, and his wife, you know, of course, everybody was actors, but she advertised every little thing. But that was pretty much
the joke is we're all Truman.
Yep,
that's the joke.
Yep.
We are, but you know, we waking up to the movie that we've been living in. But yeah, you got it out.
Now we found out. We Truman once he found out everything was fake.
That's it.
You know, but yeah, go check out this video. We ain't touch on it, but the title, well, not the title first, but the pages from his Ones That Can See, put out a day ago. It says, important news, Apple to begin implanting brain chips in humans to connect them with their phones. The apostles been saying this, man. The apostles and prophets been saying this. Now we have Habakkuk 2 is playing out in front of our face. But
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
was about to say, go watch that vid. It's in the chat. I just posted in the chat, and it's in the description box. But you got advertise a part, and you can take us out. You know, if you want.
No, I just want to give a shout out to bearer of Yahushua, man. Shout out to all y'all. But that comment said, "Con day by day here as well." You know, I never went hungry. Yeah, he said, "I never went hungry. We will eat." That's right. That's exactly right. You know. That's exactly right, man. So yeah, man, much love to all y'all, man, and the sisters too on here. But yeah, man, we pray that you all were edified, man, in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachapadash. Double honors to our elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, as well as the elders and bishops. And peace and blessings to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. All right, to the next one. Y'all stay up, man. Much love. Shalom.
Shalom.